The summer sun hung high over my sister Lauren's sprawling backyard. The kind of golden afternoon that should have felt like pure joy. Smoke curled up from the grill, burgers sizzling, kids splashing in the pool, and everyone chatting like we were the picture-perfect family. I was there, as always, trying to hold it together. I'm the younger one, the quiet supporter, who dropped everything when mom got sick, who lent money when dad's business faltered, who smiled through every one of Lauren's big life wins. She's the glamorous older sister, married to James, the successful architect everyone adored. Their life looked flawless. The mansion, the vacations, the way she posted those filtered smiles online. Mine, not so much. I just finalized a messy divorce 6 months earlier. The kind that leaves you questioning every choice you ever made. But I was rebuilding, quietly, proudly. I started a little jewelry line from my tiny apartment, handcrafted pieces that felt like my heart on a chain. It wasn't millions, but it was mine. I waited for the right moment that day, plate in hand, heart fluttering with hope. The family was gathered around the long picnic table, wine glasses clinking. "Hey, everyone," I said, my voice soft but steady. I wanted to share something. My shop just landed its first wholesale order, 20 pieces for a boutique downtown. It's small, but it's a start. After everything, it feels like I'm finally moving forward. The words barely left my lips before Lauren's laugh cut through the air like shattering glass, loud, sharp, cruel. She threw her head back, her perfect blonde waves catching the light, and the sound echoed across the yard. "Oh, sweetie," she said, still chuckling as if I told the funniest joke. "You and your little crafts, come on. Remember that candle-making phase, or the yoga studio you swore would change your life. How long before this one flops too? Face it, you're just not built for success like the rest of us." A few awkward chuckles rippled through the cousins and uncles. My cheeks burned. My stomach twisted into knots. I felt so small, so exposed, like every scar from the divorce, every late night crying over bills, was on display for them to mock. Tears stung my eyes, but I blinked them back, forcing a smile that felt like it might crack my face. The warmth of the sun suddenly felt too hot, the laughter too loud. I wanted to sink into the grass and disappear. But then everything shifted. James, who'd been quietly tending the grill in his crisp polo shirt, set the tongs down with a metallic clink. He turned slowly, his usually gentle eyes now dark and unreadable. The backyard went dead silent. He looked straight at Lauren, his voice low, steady, and I scolded. "Apologize to your sister now." The words hung there, heavy as storm clouds. Lauren's laugh died in her throat. Her face paled, lips parting in shock. "James, what? It was just teasing. You know how she is." But he didn't blink. That chilling voice sent a shiver down my spine, the kind that makes your skin prickle even in the heat. No one had ever heard him speak like that. Not to her. Not to anyone. The man who always played the perfect, supportive husband had just drawn a line in the sand. And in that frozen moment, I felt it, the first crack in the perfect picture I'd believed for years. What I didn't know then was that this wasn't just a husband defending his wife's sister. This was the beginning of the end of everything. I thought I knew about my family. Left the BBQ early that day, my hands shaking on the steering wheel as tears finally spilled over. The drive home blurred through the city streets, Lauren's laugh echoing in my head like a broken record. How could she? My own sister, the one I'd stayed up all night with during her wedding jitters. The one I'd covered for when she partied to Harding College. We were supposed to have each other's backs. Instead, she'd made me feel worthless in front of everyone. I loved, shattered. That's the only word that fit. Like something deep inside me had splintered, and I didn't know if it could ever mend. But what I didn't know that day was that James's chilling words had been building for months. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a text from him. "Can we talk? Just us. I'm sorry about yesterday." I almost ignored it. What good could come from stirring the pot? But something in my gut pulled me forward. We met at a quiet cafe downtown, away from Lauren's world. James looked exhausted. Lines etched around his eyes that I'd never noticed before. I couldn't let her do that to you anymore, he said quietly, stirring his coffee like it held answers. She's been tearing you down for years, and I've stayed silent too long. His words opened a floodgate. At first, it was small things he'd overheard her on the phone, calling me the family charity case to her friends, painting me as the dramatic little sister who couldn't get it together. But it went deeper, darker. James pulled out his phone and showed me messages, old ones from years ago. Lauren had messaged my ex-fiancé, the one I thought left because we just grew apart, telling him I was unstable and holding him back. She twisted my anxiety after Mom's death into something ugly, convincing him I'd never be the wife he needed. That engagement had shattered me back then. I'd cried for months, wondering what I'd done wrong. Now I knew. My sister had poisoned it deliberately to keep the spotlight on her perfect life. My heart broke all over again, fresh and raw. I sat there, coffee going cold, feeling destroyed in a way I hadn't since the divorce. Why would she do that to me? James's voice stayed gentle, but his eyes burned with quiet fury. She's been playing this game a long time. The affairs, the way she manipulates the family money from your parents' trust. She told them you didn't need your share because you were too fragile. I found the transfers, the lies. I've been gathering proof because I can't watch her break you anymore. The betrayal sank in like ice water. I thought of all the times I cheered her on her promotions, her dream home while she quietly undercut mine. The emotional struggle hit me hard those next weeks. I barely slept, replaying every family dinner, every joke at my expense. I felt so alone, so foolish for trusting her. Nights blurred into days of doubt. Was I really as weak as she said? But James checked in every day. Not as a brother-in-law anymore, as someone who saw the real me. His support was like a lifeline in the storm. Slowly, the pain shifted. The tears turned to resolve. I wasn't broken beyond repair. I was waking up. For the first time, I saw the pattern clearly. Lauren hadn't just laughed at me that day. She'd been laughing at my whole life, stealing pieces of it to keep her throne. 3 weeks later, the truth exploded in a way no one saw coming. James invited the whole family over again, this time to their house, under the pretense of a casual dinner. I almost didn't go. My stomach twisted at the thought of facing Lauren's smile. But James had asked me to be there. It's time, he'd said, and I trusted him now more than blood. The table was set just like old times, candles flickering, but the air felt thick with unspoken words. Lauren prattled on about her latest trip, flashing that same dazzling smile. Then James stood up, calm as ever, and slid a thick envelope across the table toward her. Divorce papers. Her face drained of color. James, what is this? She whispered. He didn't raise his voice. That same chilling tone from the BBQ filled the room. This is me stopping the lies. The affairs. The way you've manipulated everyone, including your own sister. He laid it all out, voice steady but laced with years of quiet pain. The messages. The stolen trust funds. The sabotage of my engagement. The family listened in stunned silence as he revealed how Lauren had even bad-mouthed me to our aging father, convincing him I was unfit to inherit fairly. Gasps rippled around the table. My cousins stared. Uncle's fork clattered to his plate. I stood then, my legs shaky, but my voice clear for the first time in years. You laughed at me that day like I was nothing, I said, looking straight at her. But I've carried this family more times than you'll ever know. And you tried to bury me to stay on top. I forgive you, but I'm done letting you define me. Lauren crumbled. Tears streamed down her face, but they weren't the kind that moved anyone anymore. No one rushed to comfort her. The perfect image she'd built shattered right there, exposed. Broken, alone. James filed the papers officially the next week. The family trust was corrected, and I finally received what was mine. Not for revenge's sake, but for justice. Lauren lost the house, the lifestyle, the respect. She moved out quietly, her world in pieces. In the months that followed, I rebuilt stronger than before. My jewelry line grew, small orders turning into something real. I found peace in quiet mornings, creating pieces that reminded me of my worth. James and I stayed friends, bonded by the truth we uncovered together. No romance, just two people who'd seen the dark side of family and chosen light. Looking back now, I realized that day at the barbecue wasn't the end of me. It was the beginning of my freedom. Betrayal from the ones closest to us cuts deepest, but it also reveals who we truly are. I learned that strength isn't loud or perfect. It's standing tall when everything falls apart, speaking your truth, and walking away with your heart intact. Family isn't always blood, it's the ones who lift you when others try to bury you. And in the end, the only revenge that matters is becoming the woman they never thought you could be: whole, unbreakable, free.